Hello, everybody. Welcome to a random video that I wanted to do just to kind of start testing out new formats and such, just because sometimes Tabletop 100 can take a very long time to produce to make it right. But today I want to talk about one of the latest releases from Paizo, the newest Starfinder adventure path, Horizons of the Vast. First part, Planetfall. Full disclosure before we begin, I have not run this at all. I have just read through it as though it were a novel, so there's not going to be any recommendations on like, oh, here's how my party did things, and here's how I recommend you change things. I am just taking it at face value and what that means to how I would like to run it and other things. So, first thing, what do I like about this book? Well, the main reason I bought it actually is because it has rules for settlement building. And that's the type of thing that I seriously eat up in any game. I love building settlements. For a fun fact, I don't like Fallout 4 in the slightest, but I have spent many an hour building settlements because that stuff's just fun. So I bought it for that, and I do really like the rule set, but it does feel like it is just the beginning of a full rule set. I hope that in future releases, they do have more things for you to do, because it seems like some of your buildings that you can do require at least like 5 of a certain stat for each building. But it is something that's definitely laying the groundwork that seems to be built on in the future. What other things I like are things like the world it's set up. It's interesting. It's not the best, but it is mostly set on one planet. As far as I'm aware, they give you a little brief overview of the whole adventure. And it seems like for the most part, you're going to be stuck in about one planet, maybe one solar system throughout the whole adventure. But how is this book written? I have read the entire thing, and it's fine. It's reading a game book. Every game book sort of reads like a textbook to a degree, so there is that hurdle to jump over. But it is fine. I like the descriptions to it. I think it provides a lot of information, and what is there is very good. It just has the same flaw that I think a lot of game books have in their dryness. Now, are there any things I don't like about this module? Yeah. For the first thing, a lot of the encounters that the designers have placed for this adventure path, at least right now, feel very similar to each other. A lot of the encounters for this game are going against the local wildlife of the planet, and most of them are X creature fights until death because it does not want to lose its food source, or X creature fights until damaged and then retreats never to be seen from again. That's a good 85% of the fights in this game. Now, there are a couple that I really like. There's one in part 2 where you're talking to a member of your colony that is recently undead that I think has an interesting solution to it. There is the cult that you have to deal with later that I think has some interesting natures to it. And that one's a much more roleplay heavy section that you can do, which is great. And then the mixed bag of things. So, firstly, much like a lot of other Paizo products, it does basically require another book, and in this case, that would be the Galaxy Exploration Manual. Due to the fact that this takes place on an uncharted planet, it is going to require to use some of the exploration rules that they developed for that book. It's not bad. I mean, with Archives of Nethys, you can get a good chunk of the rule set easily to yourself for free if you don't have this book in particular. But it is something that I think plagues a lot of Paizo products, is that most of them are like, oh, hey, yeah, go to this book to find this thing that we released like a couple years ago. It makes it nice when you have everything because you have so many options for so many things. But yeah, it is a mixed bag of like, oh, okay, I need to go find this book. And sometimes you might not have a game shop near you, or it might take forever to get delivered. The way that the book is laid out is a little weird. It is split across 3 chapters, or 3 parts, The first part is landing on the planet, which is literally like 5 pages. Then you have about 20 pages of side activities. And then the last part is one dungeon. The side activity section, part 2, is a little, I wouldn't say weirdly structured because it makes sense as to why they structured it that way. I just would have maybe swapped a couple things around or put parts together because it's split into parts that are numbered and parts that are lettered. Numbered parts are your in-town events, things around your settlement that happens that you can stop. And then there's the outside events, which are lettered and are tied to certain hexes on the map. It's not really an issue. I think if you are reading through it or if you're running it, you can kind of make your own notes on the side on like a sheet of paper or a Google Docs sheet and just figure it out. But other than that, yeah, it's fine. It's a mixed bag. Everybody, to each their own. Overall, what do I think? First thing, I have never run an adventure path. I have never run like a D&D module or a Pathfinder module. I would probably run this, but I would wait until probably up to part 3 is out. Because there's a lot of things that are like, oh hey, you'll find out about this in a later section. I'm like, okay, but I want to run this now. It's a good book. If you're into Starfinder and you're looking for a new adventure to run, look for Horizons of the Vast. It seems like it'll be a fun little space romp. It goes up to level 12, I think, max. Hey, y'all. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you'd like to support the channel, please hit subscribe, hit the like button. If you are new to tabletop gaming and want to get into it, I would recommend looking at Tabletop 100. It's probably the main series on this channel right now. There's also World Builder if you're interested in looking at things that are more akin to the nature of world building and how writers look at things. That series is still kind of in flux right now, so I'm figuring it out as I go along with that one. But I will be starting to review more books that come out. Most of these will not be, oh, I read this completely. But, yeah. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.